Before we begin, thank you very much to Devin M. for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much for helping the channel continue and to help me keep these daily videos coming. If you'd like to pitch in and join in supporting the channel and keeping it going, even $1 a month helps. The link is in the description below. Please visit my Patreon and sign up if you are interested in that. Thank you very much. It's been a weird week. If you missed it because it went up super late, the new Q&A video did drop on March 31st for most of you because YouTube stuck it in processing purgatory, so it was a little bit late on the East Coast. So if you missed it, go check it out. It's 2 hours of me answering every question that got thrown at me last month, and it's an opportunity to ask me anything you want next month. We digress. Let's talk about the news, shall we? Because, yeah, Wondercon dumped a whole bunch of stuff on us, and then we got some other stuff coming out that was really exciting that I almost did whole videos for all by its lonesome. But we are just going to go over a general recap of everything now. And, of course, that starts with my boy Swoop. All right, so first off, let's this is like the photos that we've been seeing from the actual, like, show floor on WonderCon. Let's go to the official photography. Look how pretty he looks. Look how pretty he looks. Oh, it's a good swoop. It's a good swoop. There's the Pteranodon mode. Yeah, looking good, looking good. There is some oddity to this, and we'll get to that here in a little bit, but yeah, I'm just super excited. The last Dinobot finally announced. Pre-orders for that's going up on April 4th, so we are just a couple days away from being able to order that, or if based on all the other Studio Series things, it might be showing up at retail any day now, so who knows at this point. 21 steps of articulation, which I did not expect from how this looks. It's small on your screen, but there is a shot of him standing up on his hind legs on the stage, the backdrop. I'm not a fan of how it looks in that one. He looks fine when you look down at his beast mode, which I guess is the idea. Any aerial transformer is going to look bad on the underbelly, especially one like Swoop. I was reminded with a lot of these images that Swoop is unfortunately the most simple of the Dinobot boys. Yeah, I was reminded that, yeah, his arms don't really do anything in transformation in the cartoon or the original toy. They're just kind of there on the side of his underbelly. Little bit disappointing. Little bit disappointing. I was kind of hoping Takara might, like, do some kind of, like, part swap fiddling that would, like, switch it out for things that look a little bit more rounder or, you know, similar shape, but, like, actual transformations going on. Not getting any of that. Swoop does keep it pretty simple. That said, it lets him have things like double jointed knees, which is kind of cool. You can see he does come with a pair of swords, which includes Grimlocks, which kind of makes me wonder where Slug and oh my god, my brain blanked. Why did it blank? Yeah, Sludge. Where are their swords? Because it's gonna be weird to have 3 with their swords and 2 without. So you know they got to do it somewhere. We do know that there is there's the comic book Grimlock coming out. He's got an extra sword. I can't remember who it's to, but that might be the way they're doing it, which would be really annoying. Wingspan has been a targeted question about this figure. Now, there are multiple ways of having the wings deployed. Like, here you can see a more rounded, more to the animation model as far as the shape goes. But they do look kind of small in this configuration. In there you can see the 3mm port, which lets you attach a blast effect. There's how simple his transformation is. That's pretty much accurate, though. That's pretty much accurate. Do we have the other overhead shot of Swoop's transformation? He can't hold the guns, by the way. That was a point of contention. He can hold his missile launchers. Because Swoop didn't have a gun. G1 or cartoon. He used his missile launchers in the same effect. I don't think I have a shot on hand of the other wing configuration. That's frustrating. So let's double check real quick. Yeah, I don't have one here. So it was pointed out. It was pointed out that the ends of these wings are on a hinge so that they can rotate down, and they end up having a sharper silhouette and more of like a like an angle look to it. So you have options on the wings. That's basically what it boils down to. So cool that. We're not even done, because there's also behind the scenes stuff. I mean, we got a lot of Swoop. Because, of course, like, there were other things announced at WonderCon, but it's all stuff that's usually been found at retail. You know, Sideswipe and Sunstreaker have been found at retail. People have Shockwave, so that stuff was officially announced, but not really all that special, really. There were other things announced that we're going to have to go over, because I don't think I have it queued up. I think I totally forgot that things were announced there, and then completely blanked on it. But yeah, let's finish off the Swoop talk here really quick before we get into all the other WonderCon stuff. Yeah, comes with his sword, 2 rocket launchers. The rockets do pop off, so you can attach blast effects. I believe we have a shot of that. Yep. There's the other wing configuration, by the way, with the points furled out. That does make it a lot sharper, but it does make the wings look quite a bit longer. It's a nice little visual trick that they pulled off there. Yeah, he is a little bit smaller than the other Dinobots, and there's where he looks real bad, is when he's in bird mode, when he's in Pteranodon mode and perched. This is where he looks pretty bad. Wish those arms collapsed or folded in some way. It's anything. Can't deny how good the team looks, though. That's a real good looking set of bots. It's gonna be a hard wait for him to come out. Yeah, my boy, my favorite Dinobot growing up. Love it. Okay, so let's move off of Swoop really quick. You can see just how much work they put into getting Swoop as correct as possible. Let's take a look. So there were Space Bridge reveals, stuff that has been leaked, but it's nice to have official confirmation. There was an RID Sideburn, which we know, yeah, obviously it's a Shadow Striker retool. Car Cybertron Hotshot. They did make a point that it's not the big heavy missile truck, the armored car. It is the original. It's the normal Cybertron Hotshot, which is really exciting to find out. Infernac Nucleus. No information on him other than apparently the deco does look really cool. And then a Voyager Vector Prime. And the cool thing about the Voyager Vector Prime that they actually announced, they used a picture from the Covenant of Primus book. So it showed his 13 artwork, and it didn't mention Cybertron Universe. You know, with Hotshot, they mentioned Cybertron Universe Hotshot. Vector Prime, nothing like that. So it might be his ancient 13 aesthetic, which would really color just exactly how the 13 primes are going to be handled for the next trilogy. That's going to be interesting to see. So now I'm really eager to see what Vector Prime looks like, because I really did want an upgrade. I really wanted a brand new version of his Cybertron design, because I love that design. Looks like we might be getting something a little bit more antique looking than that. I'm kind of curious now. They also did mention gamer Sideswipe. We know he's got the 5mm port, so it doesn't have to be arm replacement thing. They also mentioned that plastic window packaging is coming back for Transformers. They finally confirmed that, but not till 2025, because they're going to keep all of Legacy's packaging consistent. They didn't say that last part, but that's why they're doing that's why they're doing it. All right, let's wrap up the WonderCon stuff by going over the Q&A stuff that we found out. So let's see. They did mention that Skybound Optimus that has Megatron's arms, spoiler alert, but it's been out there for a while now. That if that is going to be that'll end up either being a Generations line or a small subline of Energon Universe toys. They did recently trademark things like Void Rivals and Energon Universe for potential toy releases, so that is actually very, very possible. Yeah, they don't know what happened with the fan votes. It's just not something that's been on the table. And they didn't want, and it takes 2 years to get the toy out, so they don't want people to think they, like, abandoned the project or anything. So, they don't want, they didn't want that, but there's no reason they can't do it. Question came up that I hadn't even thought of. If a character is made as a HasLab, does that cut off making future versions of that character at retail? Which is kind of an interesting point. They're not sure yet because, of course, the situation hasn't come up yet, but it's one of those things where they always look at options. They want to keep the HasLab stuff special, which is why you never see them reissued or repainted or anything. But, it's not a situation that's come up yet, so they're not quite sure. Someone mentioned Scorn and Paddles in G1 style to add to the 86 Dinobots. They say anything is possible. They try to do as much as they can. I don't see Paddles. I'm sorry. It's just such a deep cut character. Scorn, potentially. I'm in that camp that, I don't even care if you retool it from Slug. Give me Scar. I want a leader class Ankylo, please. They talked about, once again, someone asked about concept Studio Series toys expanding to the cartoons or anything else, and I really don't want to go in that direction. They don't want to go in that direction yet. If it was from a G1 episode, it's a Generations toy. They don't need to do it for Studio Series. I'd like to see if they'd go back to, like, older movies. Someone made that comparison to me. It's like the original idea for Bumblebee's design is way different. I'd kind of like a toy of it. Let's see. Someone mentioned Rails in a Transformers the movie draft that never got official art or anything. They don't have any art, so they can't really do anything with that per se. Talk of Bumblebee Shockwave having no battle damage or weathering on the paint. Again, it comes as it comes. No idea if that's going to get released any other way yet. And then the Swoop missile thing. All right, so that's the Q&A. Nothing, like, groundbreaking, nothing huge, but that tends to be how a lot of the Q&As go. It's like, anything is possible, which means we're not allowed to talk about it. Okay, let's actually go into some photography now because we got a lot of stuff shown off. So, yeah, I'm super, super looking forward to Shard. The more I see of Shard, the more excited I am for her. I think, I have the next wave of stuff on the way. I got charged for it on April Fool's, which 7 pre-orders hitting my bank account at the same time. Great April Fool's joke, Hasbro. But every time I see more of Shard, I look forward to her even more. I love these more, like, elegant, like, sword fighter shots. Like, there's some really cool little poses and part usages that were shown off here. She just looks like a really cool, fun toy with a lot of visual options. They tried to put some kind of, like comet, like, meteorite mode for her, which is kind of funny, but it is also, like, super weird looking. Like, I appreciate Mark trying to come up with rock modes for some of these, but sometimes it just does not work. It's amusing, though. It's amusing. See, look at this. Like, this, like, duelist fencing pose. Like, this gives me more character that I really like. So they did talk about the original concept, which was, just basically just made of translucent dark Energon. And I could imagine the purple repaint coming out as a Decepticon one at some point. But, yeah, this was the original idea. This was the original concept for Shard. And I want to point you out to something up here. At first my plan was to make Shard translucent dark Energon. What I didn't realize was in order to keep the awesome combination armorized gimmick, due to strength and durability, the clear material would never hold up. Takara's engineers tell you this, and yet you don't listen. If Takara's engineers know what I have been preaching for over a decade now, then it should be truth. Clear plastic doesn't hold up. So, yeah, it would have looked super cool. It would have looked super cool, but unfortunately, yeah, that's just the reality. The material just does not work for that kind of usage. No, but no. Still, make the purple one. Make the purple one. They did a behind the scenes for the Target Prime 2. Still hate this thing. Moving on. Look, real news now. Takara is doing a masterpiece Super Ginrai. And these potato quality images are the only things we have until April 10th. But look at it. I'm a little bit iffy about the proportions. Jinrai's arms do seem considerably small. I know the proportions in Master Force's animation are kind of crazy. So, fair. Could be that. But really here, like, it's just, yeah, I mean, I know what they're doing. They're making sure there's, like, plenty of space for him to be proportionally accurate when God Bomber inevitably comes out. So there's some interesting things about this particular release. So it does come with high Q. I guess the little form of Ginrai in that fiction. He has the base mode, which is actually kind of cool to actually get articulation into that base mode. It's a really cool thing, and it looks pretty much spot on. And then there's also an individual release for the Ginrai cab section alone, which is fascinating. So, and pay attention to this. Ginrai is Masterpiece 60. Super Ginrai is Masterpiece Gatai 09. So it's going to split the difference between the two lines, and guarantee God Bomber is going to be MPG 10. That seems pretty easy to call for me. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Like, this already looks pretty neat. I grew up on a Power Master Optimus Prime, so I'm absolutely down for a Masterpiece version of it. I'm still, like, kind of iffy on Masterpiece because the quality has been hit and miss. I'll wait for someone to get it in hand and then kind of take my opinion and see if it's something I want to drop the money on, because 46,000 yen. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. So we'll just have to sit back and see how this looks when we get the full shots of it. I'm also going to point out, it looks like his thighs are hollow, which is not what I want on a Masterpiece. I'm hoping that's just painted black area instead. We will find out on April 10th. Oh, we got to zoom out again. We got some new listings to talk about. One is pretty simple. There is a reissue of the Origin Bumblebee on the way, which is kind of cool, with Origin Wheeljack hitting shelves and shipping out. That's going to be cool. But also, apparently it's going to be in United Origin packaging. So if you got your Buzzworthy one still sealed, you'll at least you can tell the difference. At least there's like a difference in edition. If they screw up the reissue somehow, you'll know you've got the more valuable one. What's interesting, though, is that we're getting Transformer-themed Beyblades. Yes, apparently so far, Optimus and Starscream are going to be reduced to Bit Beasts, which would have been a phenomenally funny thing in the anime. But, you know what? It's pretty obvious. It's a pretty easy thing. It's a pretty easy way of getting Transformers into more toy lines. Not a big shock. Here's a more interesting one. New collabs. So, one of them is Star Wars Transformers. That's not a huge deal. If they just did a U.S. release of the Takara version of the TIE, the TIE Advanced Darth Vader that they did, wouldn't shock me in the least. That would be a really simple way to doing it. And you'll notice, like, this kind of this logo that got teased. I mean, I'm not gonna speculate into it because this is likely photoshopped to be this way, but I acknowledge that great as something from an Imperial ship like the Death Star, which would lean toward a Vader. Best guess. But the other weird one was Transformers Knight Rider, and this is weird because, like, okay, you're talking about Kit, who's one of the most famous talking cars in media. Okay, fine, but Kit himself is just a Firebird. Like, it's just a Firebird with a laser light in the hood. That's it. Like, unless he's got that, like, the pursuit mode, like, where all the wings and extra engines and all that flip out of it, which would be cool. That's the only way it would look distinct. So I'm really struggling to figure out, like, if this is like, I'm not sure how viable this is. How many people even know Knight Rider anymore? It's an 80s one that had like, I think 2 different reboots that both failed. But yeah, like, I'm not sure the viability of this one. Whether like, we'll see how it turns out. It's a $50 piece apparently, so this isn't just gonna be like a deluxe car. Genuinely makes me wonder how they're gonna bulk that out, because it'd be weird to just get like a really big, like, normal looking car. Weird. Okay, if you're in Australia, they're doing a cinema event where you can actually go watch the original 4 episodes of Transformers Generation 1 in theaters, which is kind of cool. Because all those episodes do make kind of a linked story, so seeing it in big screen, surround sound, like you never get to experience, your favorite TV cartoon in a movie theater. So hopefully this is something that comes to the rest of the world. Right now it is restricted to Australia, and it might be the reason why the first 4 episodes of G1 are currently not on Hasbro Pulse's YouTube channel, which is a little bit odd, but this would make sense of that. It also apparently has a sneak preview of the new season of Transformers Earthspark. So while we're likely not to get photos or anything out of that, it'd be cool to actually get a look at it. It does give us a little bit more of an idea of time frame on Earthspark Season 2. This event is on May 15th, so we know the series will probably not be out. Probably, like, that puts it like June at the earliest. And that's being very generous with the guess. But we got stuff in Australia for the Down Under fans. So, a while back, approximately 2 years or so ago, an augmented reality card game came out in China with a ton of really weird artwork. If you remember talking about like the cliff jumper that had like yellow lines trailing through him, and like Sideswipe looking like he had a bunch of like toy hacks, like recharacterization stickers on it, like super weird artwork for the characters. That game is getting a release in the UK, so now, yeah, you can actually play it in English language. No idea if it comes to the rest of the world, but if the translation work is done, that does make it more possible, or at the very least, you can import it. So if you want to play the game, it's going to be a little bit more viable now. For the music side of things, the new release of the Transformers original series vinyl record is officially up for pre-order on Amazon. It is going to be released at the end of July. Let's see, we got photos of it now. Here's the artwork that they did the interview on Hasbro Pulse's fan stream for the artist who did this. So now we actually get to see like the actual cover he did. So it's a little bit mistaken before. We were talking about the old cover last time. This is the new cover, which doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, and it doesn't randomly have a Season 3 character sticking out somewhere. So, nice artwork. Nice artwork. You can see full interior art as well of the, legendary battle on the Hoover Dam at this point. I don't know if it's the Hoover Dam. It's a dam. It's a dam of some kind. And then, yeah, you can see the different coloring. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. I can imagine, like, when you're doing vinyl like this, then you're going to end up with different styles. Like, I can imagine there's more reds and blues in some than others. More purples. So, yeah, at least it's going to be unique. So, for anyone who missed the first round, new round on the way. And to wrap it up, the New Zealand Mint has some other they've officially done the official reveal now for the coins. We talked about these before, but now they are officially up and ready. So let's see, we have, if you want to spend $500 on a limited of 200 unit, big silver coin, that is a thing you can do in April. The $150 one is already sold out, but Canadian Coin and Currency has it up for pre-order. So yeah, ridiculously expensive collectibles with King Charles stamped on them. If that's your thing, that is now available. And that's going to do it for the news roundup. A little bit long on this one because Wondercon gave us so many different things. Have I been saying Wondercon? Yeah. Wondercon, my brain started thinking, is it Wonderfest? No, I'm good here. Okay. So you've heard me talk enough the last few days. So thank you very much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time.